Okay, so let's use our imagination here and imagine that I've actually managed to create a cool video, because this is very much not a cool video. This is just the demo here. And so let's imagine that I've got something that it's cool and I'm ready to go. So hey, it's time to export, right? So exporting is going to be over here, this export option on the right hand side. So we want to click on that. Now we have four different options: MP4, WebM, Quicktime MOV, and Animated GIF. You can't separately specify the frames per second for any of them. But coming over here for the web MP4 is kind of standard. WebM is actually a fairly unique, and there's not a ton of apps that do this. This is a kind of a format that's been around for a while, but it really is supported by the latest browsers only. But it's an option that people are starting to use, so it was easy for us to include it, so we thought, why not? So there's QuickTime MOV, so QuickTime with transparency. You do need to make sure that your stage is set to transparent here in order to take advantage of that. But let's see. Then we have animated GIF. Now, animated GIF, let me finish by, there's a lot of things I should say about animated GIF. First of all, if you have big stage sizes, if your stage size is 800 by 600, if it's not like 350 by 250 or something like that, smaller stage size, and if you have it very long, anything over like 12 seconds or so, it's going to be, it's going to export, it's going to take a long time to export, and it's going to be a very big file size. For our export option, you really only have a couple options to optimize your GIF export. I would reduce your frames per second down substantially, maybe something our lowest. In fact, I'm going to see if we can get that even lower, because if you have animated GIF, you might want to have only 10 frames a second or something like that. Many animated GIFs will have as low as 5 frames a second. So that's very common to reduce the file size. And so, but set that as low, but certainly lower, as low as 20. But by the time we release this, I think we might even be able to go lower for at least for animated GIF. You want to set that low, and you want to, the color quality is something you can play with. But those are your two optimization options, besides the given of you should have a small stage size and you should keep that time down. Otherwise, you're going to have very big files. They're not optimized otherwise. There's all kinds of optimizations that you can do by reducing the color palette, which we do here, but I mean, other tools give you more specifics on that. And then there's what's called interframe transparency, which we do not do. So there's other tools that can do that. Lossy animation is another way of saying that. And those are available in other tools, but we don't do that when you export. It's not an option in the tools that we have. So you're going to want to make sure that you take advantage of those that you can do. So small stage size, short time, reduce the number of frames per second. If you're doing GIF, and then play with this color quality setting here to see if you can live with it. And one other kind of point is, if you're doing GIF animation, you do want to try to limit the number of colors that are even in the animation at all. So if you have a choice of images to use, try to use images, backgrounds, and so forth that have a limited number of colors, and avoid shading or the shadows if you can for GIF animations, because that will also increase the file size. So okay, so that is pretty much everything I can think of to tell you about the export options. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with when you use the export option in Kinetic Text Animator.